Welcome to this video where I'm going to take on a challenge from a viewer and also a fellow Twitch streamer. It is the Gengar Live. He said there's no way you could do well with this team. I'd be surprised. We're gonna prove him wrong. So this is the funky team that I have on the right. It's basically some favorite Pokemon of the Gengar Live. It's Golisopod, Shadow Claw, acts as a liquidation. You could argue that this team is a little bit weak to Azumarill, so I could use Aerial Ace as well, but Aerial is kind of bad, so I went with Axis for better neutral damage. Hippowdon. So he recommended Rock Weather Ball. I preferred Body Slam, just a way more efficient attack. I think every time I had the Hippowdon on anything, I needed Rock Weather Ball. So up to you what you want to do there. Sand Attack is like a Fury Cutter clone, which is actually very useful on a Pokemon like Hippowdon right now. So yeah, not a great Pokemon. It's my safe switch. It's something. There's not really anything that really destroys absolute ground types besides opposing Gligar. And then I have the Typhlosion. I think with the past Typhlosion videos that I've made, this Pokemon kind of speaks for itself. Let's go into the first battle here. We have Golisopod into Bastiodon. Well, this is a problem. So what I've learned about about Bastiodon teams is that Typhlosion usually wrecks the backline. So I'm gonna stay in. I have a water type in the lead. It's also a bug type, so it doesn't do super well here. But you know, I can fight back here. I have a pretty good Golisopod. I had to build a new one, like a rank 22. And you'll see that it'll be barely able to get to 3 liquidation here. I'm gonna go for the next one. This one's actually going to drop the defense of the Bastiodon, which is huge, because now my next one will do more damage. You can see I barely get there, like 1 HP. That's big. This will put the Bastiodon extremely low. Look at that. And the next Shadow Claw barely does knock out. So that's at like 1 HP as an attack. But I have a 1 turn fast attack and sand attack. Snipe it. Go into Typhlosion here. They have Wigglytuff and Victory Bell. And this is where Typhlosion thrives. So I'm actually from a terrible spot to a good spot. And they couldn't really swap out either because I think... Well, actually they could have. They could have swapped Victory Bell into Golisopod, I guess. Since I'm a bug type, but I'm also a water type. So I'm like... Victory Bell's okay in there, I guess, and Wigglytuff is obviously pretty good there. They go for the Ice Wind, doesn't really matter. I was just gonna Thunder Punch, which was a great call from them to no shield, but doesn't matter, because I just come out with 2 Blast Burn, and I will win this game. They shield that, doesn't matter, my friend. I have another one, and even when attack dropped, this Blast Burn is still gonna take on an entire family of plants, so goodbye. Game number 2, I get an okay lead. It's actually pretty fine when shields are up, because Steel Wings are resisted on Golisopod. However, Sky Attack and Brave Bird are super effective. Because Golisopod is quite fragile, they will likely knock out. I swap in my Hippowdon to try and catch an attack. It's just basically to sack it, because Hippowdon obviously is terrible into Skarmory. But they react with a Lantern here. And this is not a bad matchup. I believe I win the 0 and the 1 shield scenario, because I will be able to get to another Scorching Sands here, and that likely will knock out. I'm not sure if this will be in this video, but I did land a Scorching Sands somewhere super effective, and it did like 80% damage where I thought it would do less. Try to undercharge here, get a little bit more energy, but didn't really matter. Alright, anyway. They shield that, and then I go into Golisopod. I need to get this off, because if I have to shoot, if I lose my Golisopod, they just get 2 attacks with the Skarmory, and now they have to expend energy here with the Skarmory, and I don't have to use a shield on the Typhlosion. I just have to hope it's not something like a Quagsire, or maybe even a Azumarill on the back, because they definitely can pull a shield as well with that Skarmory from my Typhlosion. So I'm gonna let this go. Sky Attack will knock out my Golisopod, and then I come with the Typhlosion. They react really quickly and swap out in panic. But I think if they threw that Sky Attack or Brave Bird that I would have shielded then first, perhaps they would have won this. Maybe not, because I would need 4 Incinerators to get to 2 Blast Burn at that point. I think I would have won this no matter what. So you see here, Lickitung is going to get to another Body Slam. I have a regular Typhlosion, which can take this Body Slam a little bit better than the Shadow version. Shadow also works, but see here that Shadow may have been knocked out almost at this point with the lick damage as well. Doesn't matter. I have a Blast Burn, and it will knock out this Skarmory. I am 2-0 at this point with this ridiculous team. Game number 3 is the worst. This is the worst. So what am I gonna do? I think I played this before, and then I didn't catch it. Now I do. I'm just hoping they're gonna like react and swap out into like a water type, because I am kind of predicting a water type Pokemon in the back. So they do. I go for the Body Slam. This charge is extremely quick, by the way. It's like 4.5 seconds, while Area Ace takes 5 seconds to get there. 2 turns is like 1 second, so I like to calculate in that. I'm gonna let this go again and get Charge Attack priority with my Golisopod on that Aerial Ace, because I don't assume they would swap out and catch it. That would be kind of ridiculous. But they do on a Skarmory though. That's kind of rough. I don't really like this. I want my Typhlosion in here as soon as possible. Get a defense drop. That does something, I guess. It doesn't really matter. I could have thrown my Thunder Punch there to deny their energy or force a shield or something. But I'm just gonna incinerate this all the way down. The incinerate damage is always good anywhere. In comes their Gligar. I decided, should I go for bad time and throw immediately, or should I just incinerate down? We're gonna go for that incinerate down. Considering they go into the Gligar here, I am kind of assuming there might be something weak to Typhlosion in the back. So let's take a look here. It's Annihilape though, which is not exactly weak. Gonna go for the first Thunder Punch. This won't do as much damage, but afterwards the Incinerate and Shadow Claws from my Golisopod will do a lot, so I'm not surprised they do shield it regardless of it being a bait or not. I'm gonna go for another Thunder Punch. And here, the bulk of regular Typhlosion comes in clutch again, because this Night Stress will barely not knock out. I have the Blast Burn at this point. One more count would knock out here. Blast Burn is going to do so much damage on Annihilape. It's gonna set it on fire and wins me the battle. Good game. That's 3-0. In the next battle, I face another terrible lead, so I have to get out. I'm gonna go into my safe switch. That is the Hippowdon, and probably my harder answer, but the answer with a Skarm, which is not great, honestly. And here's why it's not great. They are already ABA weak to fire. So their third Pokemon is very likely to be something that can deal very well with Typhlosion. So I'm not super happy about it. But my opponent plays this terribly. I luckily get a debuff from the first Scorching Sense, which will allow me to actually take this Sky Attack. So I got a little bit lucky here, unfortunately. Well, give me a break with that. To be honest. Go for the Body Slam here. This actually pulls the shield from this opponent. It could have been a Rock Weather Ball, which actually would have knocked out. The Body Slam definitely would not have. And now I'm going to sacrifice my Golisopod because it is a Typhlosion world and we're just living in it. Debuff doesn't knock out exactly, but unfortunately they barely get to another one. I maybe should have get the Charge Tech Purity tie there, but well, I wasn't counting properly anymore. Here comes Typhlosion. They go into Feraligatr. This is, if you saw my previous video, I already said this is what I consider to be the water type Pokemon that Typhlosion can beat. It wins the 1s and the 2 shields here. So Typhlosion not bad here, but I need to keep in mind that Charge Bug is, I believe, actually should have thrown it immediately here now that I see this, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna build up more energy. That Charge Bug is 2 Volt Switch off another attack. So I need to keep that in mind. I'm gonna build up some more energy here. I'm 1 Incinerate off a Blast Burn, and at this point I was like, I can throw immediately, right? No, they kept the Skarmory. You see 2 Pokeball on the top right there, so they still have a catch available, and I'm assuming they're gonna try that. You see them waiting, you see me waiting, but I'm a little bit more patient than that, and I tap and I have a Blast Burn ready, and I win the battle. 4-0! Game number 5, see if you can get that 5-0 here. This is a terrible lead. So, as I said on my stream as well, I have played Golisopod versus Snorlax before in a particular meta, and there I learned that Golisopod can actually win the Zero Shields, but Lickitung is much bulkier. And I thought actually that this matchup would not be that terrible. We're gonna find out together here in this video that Golisopod does not have a good time here. I take the Body Slam here. Golisopod's not that bulky, but also not that fragile. Shadow Claws are double resisted though, so they do nothing on Lickitung. Look at that. It has so much HP still. That's not great. I'll let this go, see if I can get a big farm down on my Hippowdon. I don't really want to shield anything just yet. I can get there very quickly, but look at how good my opponent is at counting. It's kind of annoying at this point. Gonna let that go as well, and then I want to throw right before them, but I guess it just went a little bit too late or something. I don't know. At this point, I'm just gonna incinerate down, see if that works for me. I have 2 Body Slams stored at this point. They swap in Annihilape, which is not the worst, I guess. Gonna go for the Thunder Punch. My game freezes a little bit again, and they sneak another counter, which is very obnoxious. Thunder Punch goes through, doesn't do as much damage. My opponent doesn't even throw, which scares me. Maybe there's something weak to Typhlosion in the back, and now they don't even... They can just, like, Bullet Seed me down with a Ferrothorn. In the back Gligar though, and I don't even throw it top left. Unfortunately, no 5-0. Who would have thought I would do well with that team? I actually did another set with it and went 3-2, so I went pretty positive with it. I hope you liked the video, and I'll see you next one.